Jamie joins us on the phone right now. I asked Paul Wilcox, CEO of the Auckland Racing Club, Jamie, whether he had much sleep last night. I'll ask the same question of you. Did you?
I'm a great sleeper. I don't get much of it, so I've got to be good at it.
That'll set you up for the day today. Look, just before we talk about that, just want to quickly talk about Te Ako Shark, because during the week the stable tweeted out that unfortunately we won't see him in the autumn, so that rules out an all-star mile Doncaster potential campaign. What's the latest with the horse?
Look, he's just a little bit sore. Nothing too bad. He's been through these sorts of things before, and this is the reason why we've had to take him along quietly. But he sort of went through a similar sort of thing when he came back from Riccarton last year as a 3-year-old, and unfortunately he's going through that again. So we're going to run some more tests on him next week, and then he'll be having a break. But look, it's not anything of a really serious nature. He's going to get back to the races. We've just got to give him a little bit of time.
With that time, sort of how long do you envisage that he might be, say, out at the Te Ako farm with having R&R before you bring him back into work?
Oh, he'll be back in, 1st of May sort of thing. He went to the beach for a month last year, and that seemed to work well with him. So, we've just got to give him a little bit of time, and if we look after him, he'll look after us in the long run.
Okay, all the best with Te Ako Shark. Obviously a huge following, one of the most exciting horses we've seen being trained out of New Zealand in the last decade, Te Ako Shark. Speaking about the big 2-year-old race, and a massive effort to have 5 runners in the Karaka Million 2-year-old. You've got one of the favourites in Probabeel. In fact, behind Whiskey Neat, you've got Aotea Lad and Your Deal and Louis Luck that sit on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th lines. What can you tell us primarily about Probabeel and her preparation? Happy with it?
Yeah, everything's gone according to plan. She doesn't look like a 2-year-old, but she's very sound and a good eater, and we're really pleased with her.
We're seeing her and her brilliant last 100 metres, the last time she started, running past Your Deal. Is there much between those two, or is clearly Probabeel the number 1 seed for you?
No, I don't think there's much between the top 3 or our top 3 seeds, and that's Your Deal, Aotea Lad and Probabeel. I don't think much splits them. They're just going to all need a little bit of luck in the run, because all 3 of the sort of best chances of drawing that side of it.
With Aotea Lad, you've got the visor blinkers on him, drawn sort of a just fraction of outside of a middle barrier. Happy with his progression through his 2 runs that you've seen on race day and then work? Yeah,
he's been good. He's a professional sort of horse. He came from well back at Ellerslie, and I thought he took really nice ground off Whiskey Neat. So unfortunately, Whiskey Neat's got the good barrier, and he's got the bad barrier again, so he's going to have to be back a little bit and chasing hard. But I think the visors have helped him. We sort of just like to meet the horses halfway. I didn't think that he needed a full set of blinkers yet, but just if that could just enhance his concentration when they sprint off the corner, and he can quicken up, well, it's all going to help.
What's your take on how the race is going to be run? Where do you see the speed, and do you think there'll be enough speed that might allow your runners to come into it at the back end of the race?
Well, we hope so. I think there's good speed there from David Green's horse. Clinton Isdale's horse will go forward. Louis Luck's got a lot of speed. He'll be thereabouts. Charles drawn well. In these big, high-pressure 2-year-old races, you usually find there is a lot of speed in them. So hopefully it's going to, hopefully set it up for something that might be able to come from beyond midfield. Before
Barry draws, did you have a leaning as to which of your horses is probably the best at this stage?
I don't think there's much between Probabeel and Your Deal and Aotea Lad. I think all 3 of those horses are going really well and have trained on well. They're all just going to need a little bit of luck in running. So if there's a bit of speed in the race and they string them out, they might be able to slot in midfield rather than have to get back near last. So it's just going to be what sort of run they get in the race and how it all plays out.
Okay, looking at the 3-year-old race, the Karaka Million Classic, it's race number 6 on the program. Madison County is the $2.60 favourite. You have In a Twinkling at 50 to 1 and also Prix de Feu at 30 to 1. Prix de Feu, firstly, obviously you lost last start in the inquiry room. You were first past the post. A couple of starts before that at Ruakaka was very convincing, breaking maidens. in a twinkling was in that race that Prix de Feu was relegated in. Is it a case of Prix de Feu being the better chance, do you think?
Don't think there's a lot splits those two. They're nice, nice progressive horses that are probably looking for 2,000 metres. But we've just tried to keep them really fresh for the last 2 weeks to go a nice mile ahead for $1 million. Fortunately, both of those two have drawn well and will get a good run in the race. But, they're going to need to find a few lengths to be competitive against Medicine County, Longleaf, Queen of Diamonds, those sorts of horses. So I'm sure that they'll be doing their best, but they do need to improve a little bit.
I was just about to ask you that the 30 and 50 to 1, what's your expectations of how they'll stack up? But you've given us some good thoughts on that. Let's go to race number 2, and again two-handed in the 3-year-old set weight and penalties affair. It's the Mongolian Khan Trophy with Sword of Osman, the $2.30 favourite. Burgundy Belle, who's really caught the eye, the filly, in not many starts to date. She's 2 from 2. Speaking about Sword of Osman, firstly, how happy were you with his returning win?
Yeah, I thought it was nice. He was sort of ready to go on the Hallmark Boxing Day wet track, just didn't want to flatten against the other horses. We just gave him a couple of exhibition gallops and he needed that run. That's tightened him up nicely. His work's been what it needs to be for him. He's a horse that goes pretty keen in his work at home and he just does a lot of work on his own. But, he's going well. And although he's got to carry 60.5, I don't think the spread's too bad. So I think he gets an okay under the conditions of the race.
How about the filly who's 2 from 2? Was she far off him?
No, not far off him, but obviously he's a Group 1 winner at Ellerslie. But she's a horse on the rise, 2 from 2. She just needs to take that next step up to stakes class. Bearing in mind that she hasn't raced right-handed, she's trialled right-handed and she's very professional with the blinkers on, but that's probably something that punters need to note.
Okay, good information there. Let's touch on a couple of 2-year-olds that you have, one at Trentham and also one at Riccarton. Going down to Trentham where you've got Equinox lining up. What can you tell us about Equinox?
Very nice colt that Dave bought here as part of the Stallion Syndicate last year. We rate him highly. His trial was good. He'll jump and go forward and would like to think he's a chance. And
also at Riccarton in race number 3, you've got Vino Bella. What are the expectations?
Look, she's a filly that's got a little bit of speed. She probably lacks a bit of size and a bit of scope, so we just thought we'd get her down there. There's a half-mile there race for her today and a 1,000-metre race in 2 weeks. So she has got good gate speed, good natural speed, so we'll put the blinkers on and she'll race handy to the speed and hopefully she can keep going.
Obviously a really important day for you and Team Tiako. This is the day that you work on last year, 2 years before, to try and set up for today. Obviously, we know its importance. Can you give us a sense of the horse that you think's most likely to go closest to really fly that flag today?
I think Probabille's, a class filly with a lot of X factor about her. She's, she's not a natural 2-year-old, but she gets away with it because she's got so much brilliance. And if she hadn't have drawn the outside barrier, I would have been very confident that she would have run well. She's just going to need a little bit of luck in the running, and there's not really a lot more that we can do here. Dave and I are looking at horses. Opie's probably got about half a kilo to go, and hopefully we should be all right.
All the best, Jamie. Thanks for your time this morning. I know it's a busy time for you, and all the best later on this afternoon at Ellerslie and also down the line at Trentham and Riccarton. Jamie Richards, who is the man in charge of Tiako Racing, the man in charge of the horses for Tiako Racing, of course, Principal David Allison, a team based out of Matamata. They have a big hand on Karaka Million Day.